My name is Paula Hartman. I'm from Germany. I moved to Canada about 12 years ago. I mostly make kinetic art, so most of my creations are suspended from the ceiling. I do either like chandelier-like sculptures or geometric sculptures. And I really like that I occupy the ceiling space because most art is like hanging on the walls, but I really like that it's different and it takes up more space. My art is kinetic, so it moves, and so therefore it is always in movement and it always changes, so from every angle it looks different. I really like to also play with shadows and different geometric shapes. I think if I were a plant, I would be a rose. In the last years, my thorns were growing, so I don't let just everybody into my world. I had to learn that the hard way. I think that my energy is precious, and if people want to, be in my life or work with me, then they have to be good to me. Plants are like my friends. I'm obsessed with flowers. And when I take a walk through my neighborhood, I think they make me really happy. And so my art is mostly inspired by what brings me joy. And because plants are one of the things that bring me the most joy, it was just like natural that I would try to recreate like a feeling that I have when I look at plants. Well, a few years ago, I walked past a store and I saw a mobile. My first mobile that I saw in a store, it was like made out of paper. And it was literally love at first sight. And I couldn't really find anybody who was teaching me how to do them. So I experimented a lot and I researched on the internet how to create flower shapes out of paper. Because these mobiles were like paper mobiles, and that's how I started, with straw and paper. And I basically taught myself how to do it. I was like looking at videos and photos, researching about old ways, like traditional ways to make flower-shaped spheres, for example, out of paper. And then, yeah, that's how it started. And then in the last years, I experimented with all kinds of different hanging sculptures that all had like these paper flowers as a common theme. What is important for me is that I uplift people with my art, that how I express myself artistically is joyful to other people, that lift them up, make them feel light, and give them hope and make them feel joyful. You can actually lift yourself up to a better feeling with the things you surround yourself with and the colors you surround yourself with. When I started making mobiles, I really was inspired by these Slavic folk crafts. They're called pająki, so it's like an old Polish tradition. And it was interesting to me because I grew up at the Polish border, and I don't know if as a kid I maybe saw some of these sculptures and maybe something inside of me remembered. I really like to honor that tradition, and that's how I got started. And then I kind of like put my own touch on it. I do have really big dreams. I think the more you dream, the better. And I would want to create really big installations where people just lay underneath them and feel completely mesmerized and joyful and the feeling of bliss.